Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Caveman Barbecue Outdoors. My name is Zaid, and today we're going to knock out some of the best beef jerky you can ever make. Alrighty y'all, this actually is going to be super simple. So what I have here is going to be two, I believe these are actually chuck tender roasts, if I'm not mistaken. You could do this with any roast. Eye rounds work perfect for this. Just some cheap piece of meat. So what we have here is two roasts, and you're gonna rarely ever hear me say this, but the first thing we want to do is, I forgot to mention, so I did let these sit in the freezer for right around 30 minutes before I started cutting on them. So first thing we want to do here is we're gonna slice as much fat off as we possibly can. Not gonna be something you typically hear me say. However, fat goes rancid. So we wanna make sure we don't defeat the purpose of having beef jerky. So we wanna get as much fat as possible off. It's okay to have a little bit. We're gonna just trim this up just a little bit. Get that pocket out. Actually, I'll deal with that one here in a moment. But any of this surface fat, whatever you can get to, you want to go ahead and just remove. You don't want bad, rancid, rotten beef jerky. Unless you're into that kind of thing, then you do you. Just like so. As always, sharp knife really helps. And I'm actually going to snip that whole corner off. Okay. Next thing we want to do is we're going to slice this guy against the grain. You see, grains are going this way on this piece of meat. So we want to slice this guy against the grain. We want to do thin slices. So we want no thicker than 1/4 inch. Just like so. That one's a little bit thicker, but that's okay. I have also seen some people butterfly it and then slice that way. I like bigger pieces of beef jerky. I just like beef jerky in general. So I'm gonna keep it this way. It is a little slower, but that's all good. If you have a meat slicer, you can, of course, use that method. Unfortunately, I don't have one. And this is where freezing it for a little bit also really helps. Just like we did earlier, we want to come through and see that piece of fat right there. We're just going to go ahead and trim this guy off. It doesn't have to be perfect, y'all. Just make them as uniform as you possibly can. And we're going to go ahead, take just a gallon Ziploc bag. We're going to throw this meat in here, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with seasoning and a marinade here momentarily, but we're also going to go ahead and cut the other one up as well. This one's still a little frozen, which may actually aid in having more uniform pieces. And this guy actually has a big hunk of fat running right down the middle, and it pains me to do this. I always tell you guys, fat is flavor. I just don't want to risk my jerky going bad on me. So we're gonna trim this off and actually feed it to the dog. Same thing with this. You just want to get as much of the fat out of there as possible. And there we go, guys. 2 bags of beef jerky. I'm gonna clean up really quick and we're gonna get them marinated for you. All right, guys. So we got a couple recipes we're gonna roll with today. We're gonna do one of these bags. I'm thinking probably this guy right here. We're gonna do him like a hot honey barbecue, just because who wouldn't love that? And then this one, I think we're gonna do like a teriyaki, like Asian inspired sauce. So for this guy, we're gonna go ahead and get them seasoned up. I'm gonna leave all ingredients in the description below. But here in this little bowl, all we have is some barbecue sauce and a little bit of pickled jalapeno juice. I really love pickled jalapeno juice. It adds a really nice pop, especially when you're making marinades and jerkies. So we're gonna add a little bit of that barbecue sauce and that pickled jalapeno juice. To that, we're also gonna add just a little bit of honey. Don't want it to be overly sweet because we are going to put brown sugar in this as well. So I would say about 2 tablespoons of honey. And then for our dry rub, and again, I'll leave all the ingredients in the description below. We have some brown sugar, a little bit of coffee grounds, just a dash of curing salt, and some red pepper flakes. So, I also forgot to mention, I do have some ancho chili powder in here as well. I don't put black pepper on my jerky while it's marinating. I'm actually gonna dust them with black pepper here right before I put them on the smoker. So what I'm gonna do is just let all the air out here, zip it up, and just give it a good solid mix. Make sure all my surfaces are gonna be coated with that marinade and with that rub as well. Made a little bit of a mess that I gotta clean up, but no big deal. And just like so, it doesn't have to be crazy fancy, anything like that. And I have no idea why these bags keep coming open. There we go. I'm gonna be a little bit more gentle with it, I guess. So we're gonna stick this guy aside, and we're gonna go ahead and knock out my Asian, or my teriyaki jerky as well. So I'm gonna kind of cheat on this. I would love to make you guys fresh homemade teriyaki sauce, but I'm gonna cheat and just use that Lowry's. So we're gonna do just a little bit of this because it is strong. I would say about 1/3 cup. To that, we are gonna add a little bit of soy sauce. You could use Worcestershire sauce as well. So we're gonna do about the same in soy sauce. And then we're gonna add our brown sugar mixture in this. And again, I'll leave the ingredients down below in the description, but it's pretty much brown sugar, onion powder, garlic powder, and a little bit of chili powder. And then I almost forgot, same thing as we did with the barbecue. We're gonna add just a little bit of honey. Not much. And that'll do. And we're gonna give this guy a good mix. Hindsight is 2020. I think it would have been easier to do this in a bowl and mix it, but that's all right. You guys can learn from my mistakes. And we're gonna make sure all of our surfaces are coated with that marinade and that spice mixture, like so. What we're gonna go ahead and do, guys, is we're gonna leave these on the counter just for a little bit, and then I'm gonna clean this up and put them in the fridge. Typically when I leave these marinating at least for 6 hours, we're gonna go overnight with this guy. That way we have some good jerky for tomorrow, and we'll take you along for that as well. Alrighty gang, one next day later, taking you out to the smoker, showing you how we have our fire built today. So unlike making a brisket or any other smoked meat, we don't really care to have a super clean fire when making jerky. We're only looking for about a temp of 170 degrees. Now it is summer in Texas, so we already have 100 of it just with ambient temp. But here's how we have this set up to show you a quick side view. So coals are only half lit when we put a really big log on there. And again, we just want like a smoldering fire right around 170, I would say below 200 degrees. And we're gonna go grab that jerky and throw it on right now. We're gonna go ahead and get our meat on, starting with our hot barbecue. Typically easier, just get a glove or use your bare hands and throw them on. And you want to lay them as flat as possible on the grate. I'll show you a close-up shot here in a bit. But lay them flat, that way they're getting good smoke going all the way around them. It'll help them dry out quicker as well. If you have a cooling rack, it wouldn't be a bad idea to place them on that first and then transfer them directly to the smoker. But we're just gonna do ours the easy way. And hopefully it all fits on here, I'm sure it will. And again, no rhyme or reason how to do this. It's not a brisket cook where I have to make sure it's pointing a certain way or anything like that. We're just throwing chunks of meat on a smoker and cooking super low. And you don't have to do this on an offset, guys. If you have like a Traeger or any of those pellet smokers, or even like a Weber kettle, just get an offset fire going, something super low. You know, you want to cook right around 170 degrees or keep it below 200 and just let it go. You know, don't have to burn a super clean fire, don't have to be super attentive. This is gonna be pretty much a set it and forget it cook. We're gonna let this roll for right around 6 hours. And just until we have the color and the texture we want. So we're gonna move on to our other pack here. And I may have jinxed myself. I may not have enough room actually, but we'll make it work. I'll double park some if I have to. Need to get my big offset going. I haven't shown you guys any updates or really a video on that here in quite a bit, or ever, I don't think, but I have a big 500-gallon offset smoker that I'm working on right now in the garage. Need to get going on that. That way I'm not short of any room making these big cooks. But I think for this much beef jerky, if you're to buy it at the store, it's probably like 40-50 bucks worth of jerky. These two roasts together were less than 12 bucks. So you're definitely getting a lot of product for not too much money. So nice and snug. And we're gonna go ahead and get this lid shut and start the process on them. All right, got that fire going where we want it. Go ahead, go lid down on this guy. Now this is not the fire you want, again for the 5th time. Whenever you're cooking food, like if I'm making ribs or any barbecue, you know, we want this to be really nice and blue. This is just a drying fire. You know, I would never cook meat like this to eat. This is just for the jerky. We want like a really nice, gentle, cool, smoldering fire.
3 hours later.
Okay, here we are about through the halfway point. So topped off, just a few more briquettes there, still on that first log. But took a sneak peek before I brought you guys out here just to show you what everything's looking like, and it's looking pretty good. As you can see, like right there, we're starting to shed some of that moisture off. We're starting to dry out here, so reckon probably another 3 hours or so and these will be done. So what you want with jerky is you want them to be dried out, you want them to bend but not break, that way they're still a little tender. So looking good. We'll bring you guys back out here in the next couple hours and hopefully we'll have some jerky. Alrighty, y'all, this was absolutely fantastic. You will not be able to find this in a Jack's Links bag. I'm not hating on Jack Link, but this is where it's at. I promise you, it's so easy. You can even do this in the oven. Instead of smoking it, just set it super low and throw a little bit of liquid smoke in there. You could do the exact same thing, but it is hard to beat. Hardwood smoked beef jerky. It is super tender. Like, look at this. All of them are just falling apart. I mean, that's exactly what you want, and they're not paper thin. They're thick too. So this will be great little healthy snack, great little bring along for your deer stand here in a couple of months. Can't beat it. I will definitely be doing some more beef jerky, and once you get a couple of recipes down, it's really fun to play with it. I think I'm gonna do like a chimichurri one in the future. I may do like a hot honey one. I'm just thinking of other stuff that I could do on my next batch. Probably do some with venison coming up here pretty soon as well. But that's all we got for you guys today. I'm gonna go ahead and bag this up. That way I have some snacks while I work. And please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.